So welcome to North Yorkshire. Now what I'm up here doing is I'm up here buying my supplies for the next plant spread medicine retreat, which is about to start shortly. And this is the place I'm going to be getting it from. And so this is what these people are very fortunate to have. A massive array of greenhouses, which means they can produce the kind of plants in quantity that most people would only dream about. It makes such a difference to have plenty of protected cultivation space. So if you reach the point in your life when you're bored of going to Tesco's and Asda to buy your food, what you can do is you can come to a place like this. And there are places, all very different, like this all over the country and in other countries I'm sure, where what you find is local people producing local food for people in the locality. And Growing with Grace is a fine example of this, so let's just have a look inside their shop. And what they do is they do buy in a certain amount of fresh produce from other growers, which enables them to have a wider range than would be possible otherwise. And that's some of the food I'm buying on the counter there. And they are reachable through the internet. You can order online, that's all possible. And as well as all the fresh stuff, what's absolutely delightful is that they sell their own seeds. Now imagine that, it's really good, and it's all organic, the seeds as well, so nice opportunity. And then there's a lot of the dried and otherwise preserved and frozen goods, and they also have a very good coffee machine. So this is Growing with Grace up near Clapham in North Yorkshire. And you will already have noticed they have a yurt outside, which they use as a meeting space. It's a traditional Mongolian yurt. And let's just have a little look in this one. So this is the first greenhouse I'm encountering on my way. And at this point what I need of course is a map, and that's what they've got. So that will actually explain to me where everything is. And I guess what instantly strikes me is they've got a lot of really unusual looking plants here, some which I don't recognise, which is always nice. There's one interesting plant, I'm very curious to know what it is. So let's see if we can go find somebody. The size of this greenhouse really is hard to get my head around. It's absolutely massive. It's got its own automatic irrigation system, and I'm finding it quite paradisical in here because it's really, really warm, which is just what you'd expect as the sun's out. So this looks like a greenhouse with a lot more actual produce being grown in it. Nice to see plants in such huge numbers. And they're very deliberately growing comfrey and living little wild areas to encourage a wider biodiversity, which helps to protect against pests and diseases. So Anne-Marie is just planting a load of lettuces in this particular greenhouse. So hello Anne-Marie, and thank you very much for agreeing to be filmed. And I'd be very curious to hear anything you have to say about Growing with Grace and what you do here.
I do any job that needs to be doing, depending on what season it is. So at the moment it's lettuces.
Right.
Earlier on we were taking the spare leaves off the tomatoes down at the bottom greenhouse so that the sunlight can get underneath and redden up the tomatoes, which are very near to the floor.
Ah, right, yes.
So, and these will all go in our veg boxes, which we deliver locally.
Yes.
Including the South Lakes, and we run on biodiesel, which is local fat, which is collected in the area, and then that's converted to biodiesel. So
Great.
the soil as well that we're planting in, this is from local waste, which has been collected again.
From local waste, okay.
Local waste, and then through different processes, it ends up being certified organic.
Gosh, I see.
So it's the whole beautiful circle, from the waste coming in either in green stuff or the fat. And it is quite amazing that a lot of people don't know. It's this sort of project is going on, so hopefully this video will promote us a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm really grateful to hear from them. I'm just going to show them the lettuces which are a bit more established. So there we go. And so some of these are going to find their way into the retreat for the weekend, which is lovely.
These are like amazing green rosettes.
Aren't they? Yeah, they're lovely the way they form. They're really neat and hearting lettuces.
And this nettle that's been weeded will just go back into the soil and really feed the plants beautiful green manure.
Right, so again it's no waste, isn't it? Or all waste is a nutrient, I suppose, yeah. Yeah, right.
So there's many different varieties. And it's so tasty. It's just great to be walking around a place that you can just pick and eat.
Yeah.
You know you've not got any pesticide on there. You have to rush to the tap and rinse it because you might be frightened, you might be eating a chemical.
Yes.
So there's none of that here.
Interesting question about bringing groups down here, because it's something I did want to ask whether that would be okay.
Thursdays and Fridays are great days for doing things like that. They can maybe pick some of their own salad and different things for some lunch.
That's brilliant.
And hopefully they'll take the information home to other people.
Yes, indeed, exactly. That's what we want.
Yeah. There's not many, well, I don't know the nearest one to this place that actually runs on biodiesel, collects their own garden waste, has their own little shop. You know, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So to pick the vegetables, take them into the shop, put some in the boxes, the funds go back in the shop, back into the system, you know, it's really beautiful, supporting the local economy.
And how long has this been going on here?
I think over 12 years.
Over 12 years, that's really good to know. Yeah, great.
It's a Quaker-based organisation.
Yeah.
The irrigation system here, and the water comes from the borehole.
Oh, great. So you actually have your own equivalent of spring borehole water.
Yeah. And
wonderful.
That's programmed, so later on this will have an amazing shower.
Ah, great. All programmed. Lovely. So that's much easier for you.
Yeah, Cara does have to get up and twiddle, and you know, because it's very grassroots stuff.
Yeah.
You can see. So sometimes you might have to just mess about with one of these to get the direction going properly.
Okay, yeah, right.
Which always needs a bit of constant work.
I'm shocked at how many greenhouses you have. It just seems to go on for such a long way.
Yeah, have you been down to the bottom?
Not yet, no.
I can take you for a walk down to the tomatoes if you like.
Oh, great.
Amazing celery that's growing now, which when it's harvest, it looks like the most amazing green bouquet. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's growing all there. We've got some fennel.
And what have we got over here? What are these?
Yeah. This one's radish.
Radish, they're huge. I've not seen radish that size. Okay, they're really big ones.
Yeah.
Right. And there's grapevines above us.
Yeah.
Right. That's so much bigger than I realised.
Yeah.
Right, this is a tomato plantation.
So this is what we've done. We took the leaves off the, you know, just taking the sunshine away.
I see.
Now the tomatoes are reddening.
Oh, right, so that's what you do.
This is Cara at the bottom.
Hello, Cara.
Hello.
But you keep the upper leaves on so they keep still doing the photosynthesis and growing, but all the bottom leaves come off. That's very interesting to see.
Yeah.
And is that aubergines as well, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And the cucumbers? Yeah.
Yep. Cucumbers, courgette.
They're a bit sad.
Ah.
And all our leeks.
Yeah, it's a massive arrangement of leeks.
Loads of beans growing along there.
No, I can't even see the beans. I'm not probably looking properly. Oh, right, yes, okay, there was such a massive row. I didn't realise what I was looking at. So this is just a phenomenal row of beans.
These are just going to be so tasty when they're picked.
Yeah.
It's an amazing colour, isn't it? That
Yeah, it's a beautiful flower, the bean flower. So it goes all the way along there, the beans, yes. So you pick those every day now, I suppose?
Have we started to pick the beans on this side, Cara?
Yeah, every other day.
Right.
Ah, every other day, right, okay.
We do it every day, but we never grow anything. We do forever picking.
So I'm just going to go and see Cara now, see what she's doing with the tomatoes.
So first I'm going to take off side shoots so that they don't try to assume sort of apical dominance
Right,
and don't become a sort of bush tomato.
yeah. Is that because you get better productivity off a tall tomato plant?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so we're kind of trying to really control it
Yeah,
and not let it kind of do wild and crazy things that it might like to do otherwise.
yeah, right.
And then this is starting to have fruit on it, but it doesn't want to get dense down here because it will keep the light off the fruit. And
Yes.
it also puts them, holds moisture and puts them at risk of getting something like light.
Well, thanks for showing me this. I've got to do my own when I get back home tonight, 'cause I didn't realise this is what I should be doing, but I will.
It's surprising how the old gardeners do know.
Yes,
But, sometimes people don't.
exactly.
But yeah, this is the crucial bit. Do
Yes,
it quite. The nice thing about when you have tomatoes in your own home is if you put them somewhere that you pass, you find you just become obsessed with just taking off the little side shoots when you're passing, just to
that's a good
go out
point.
somewhere, or
Yes,
you know, and you just go, oh look, and then you're really on top of it. Every little one comes off.
yeah,
I tend to only come down every 10 days, and then I kind of have to be as quick as I could possibly be and get on to the next thing.
yeah, right.
Because, you know, we're working with hand tools here,
Yes,
and so we have to be fast. And I am a Soil Association apprentice, horticulturalist.
oh, right, yeah.
So I am not the master. I'm learning.
But that's that thing about learning, you really have to stay on top of everything, don't you? Because you're putting all that intention into learning, which is very helpful.
And we have really only the equivalent of 2 people, so 2 full-time people, working all these greenhouses. So that is,
Gosh, I can't
it's,
imagine.
you know, it's a lot. It's a lot to do.
It certainly is.
It's a real craft to be able to do this well and
Yes.
quickly.
And I can see behind you there's a load of courgette plants, is that right? Are they courgettes?
So there is winter squash, and
Oh.
next to them here are the courgettes. And they're really, really similar, but they have the courgette has a more incised leaf.
I'll just go and take a shot of them for people to see.
You can see the flowers on the over there. Mixed flowers in the courgettes.
Okay. So these are courgettes and squashes. So the tobacco plants are literally self-seeded out of the
They
compost.
self-seeded after some compost,
God,
and
amazing.
they really are real tobacco plants. They're not the nicotiana that's bred for flowers that you can have in your garden. They are bred for the leaves.
And I notice that you're growing all the tomatoes on membrane, and this is just being practical about weeds. Is that the reason?
Weeds are, you know, because we're organic and we work with hand tools, and weeds are up there with the things that you spend most of your time on. And so it's unfortunate to have to use anything that's fossil fuel based and which has no end of life disposal. There are no end of life disposal options for this plastic sheeting.
Oh, right.
There's no process in existence currently which can recycle them. So that's sad, but having other methods of weed control weren't working for us effectively, and so if you don't control weeds in this situation, then you're over. You know, it's all over.
Totally.
It's really.
Yeah, so was it just for the tomatoes? Did you use this for the courgettes and the squashes as well?
The courgettes and the squashes are food plastic. So are the basically things which, yeah, you couldn't do leeks through it.
No.
Because you never harvest them, because you have to get the fork in the ground. There's some things you absolutely can't do that with.
Yes.
But for organic growers, it is quite a good option.
Yes, it's practical.
Provided that you're careful about it and you make sure that, yeah. It's also a lot of labour moving it around.
Yes.
It can be a false economy, and you just have to be really careful about not buying in too much and then not using it, because you know it's an oil-based, wasteful thing in the end. But if it allows us to work in a low-carbon way to produce local food for people, then it can work out the right decision.
Yes, and who knows, maybe eventually people will find a way of making it from some kind of biological compound, perhaps.
Yeah, you could almost certainly manufacture something out of cellulose, which would have last a few years and then degrade.
Yeah.
We have used paper, so not like hand paper mulching, because rolls of stuff that look like this, but which are actually made of paper, and they last about a year.
Okay.
And we just happen not to have any of that at the moment.
Right, now you do grow potatoes, but do you grow them outside or inside?
Everything at Growing with Grace is inside.
Even the potatoes, amazing.
Well, simply because that's what the assets are that we hold. So we have 2 acres under glass, and that's what we've got.
Mind-blowing to think there are actually 2 acres here. I mean, it's just so huge.
This space right here, this is half an acre.
Is it?
Yeah,
Gosh.
the ones add up to the rest.
Wow.
That's a lot of glass, and
Isn't it?
we didn't build this. We kind of adopted it when a commercial, not organic, I don't think, kind of potted flowers business.
Oh, yes.
Constructed this, and when they went bust, it was empty.
So it was a good acquisition for you folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to get my head around just how big this is. I'm used to thinking a 50-foot polytunnel is like massive, and then suddenly I come here and it's like, oh.
Yeah, you could put quite a few people's polytunnels in our greenhouse.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
You want to see what happens when red spider might get your cucumbers?
Oh.
That's what happens.
Oh, really? That's what I'm looking at. Okay.
So this is not meant to look like that. This is kind of an interesting organic horticulture thing. That's what happens to leaves when spider mite gets them.
Okay.
And if you look at that one there, that's got...
yes.
Okay, so that's sawdust. And that's on there because I put it there.
Yeah.
And that's been impregnated with a microscopic creature that's predatory on the red spider mite.
Pest predators, I've heard about them.
So that's we've brought in that beneficial predator.
Yes.
And I did that just yesterday, and so I'm hoping that that's going to cause the spider mite population to drop down.
Oh, there's another one. Yeah. So it's great. I'm really pleased and interested to hear you do use these pest predators. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose one of the nice things about being like an intensive, diverse market garden is that you have a lot. We have about 10 or 15, I've forgotten, different varieties of tomatoes here.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Ones that you will never see in the shops, and that's one of the nice things about small-scale agriculture, is that you get to eat a more diverse range of produce. You get to maintain the genetic diversity of the seed bank.
Yes.
Working with a wide variety of different kinds of seed, and that also, if you play it right, that can be. You know, there are few enough economic advantages to working in this way, so it can be it can be a good economic advantage in that people are getting something quite exciting that they can't get anywhere else.
Right, yeah, so that's your unique advantage, isn't it, really? Yeah, I can see
You
that.
want to have something to offer people, you know, otherwise they're going to wonder why should we support you.
Yes.
And it's important that people get something back for making an ethical decision and spending a lot of their money on sustainably produced food. Oh, you poor thing, you're in the middle of a mango, aren't you?
Ah, so what I'm looking at there possibly is a plum tomato to your right. Is that a plum tomato?
Oh, he does look like a plum.
Yeah.
Yes. But,
Yeah.
but when we pick them, they'll go into boxes and they'll probably, basically, round tomatoes will just, there's a whole section that are just round red tomatoes. They'll just be picked as round red tomatoes, and then interesting tomatoes will be put into a sort of, you know, interesting tomato variety selection. And at that stage, it's not so important exactly what they're called. So we're not growing plums for canning.
When people want to order their organic boxes, it's not just a matter of one box. They've got choice, haven't they? They can have different kinds of boxes.
Yeah. And Growing with Grace has several different boxes.
Yeah.
That they're just simply different things like large or small, or just fruit or just salad.
Ah, okay.
And that just gives people a little bit more variety, because one of the things that can put people off getting a vegetable box is if they find that they're unable to eat the contents because there's too much.
That's true.
And although it probably makes people more conscious of the food, that a lot of people would waste food anyway, but people really notice when they make the effort to get a veg box and then they find that they don't finish it all. So having small and large is kind of one of the really crucial things.
Yeah.
One of the things Growing with Grace did is it used to just be vegetable boxes, but we also now give people the opportunity to order a selection of whole foods and grains and things.
Yeah.
Basically things that you would get in a whole food shop, pesto, that sort of thing. And have that packed into the box. And that's kind of nice for people because it saves it on another car journey into the shops.
So if a person wanted exotic tomatoes, you just specify that had like a range of interesting tomatoes.
Yeah, so you can also choose an extra vegetable as well.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you can put that in.
Trap for moths.
Yeah, it's an experiment that I introduced yesterday.
Yeah.
I think that there could be squash stem borer moths in here.
Oh, great.
Which would be an issue. I'm not sure, but I wondered if there were.
Yeah.
And they're attracted to yellow things.
Ah, okay.
And so I think that if there's yellow bowls of water in the greenhouse, there's a possibility that they will drown in there. And then I will be able to identify that they're definitely in here.
Yeah, very important to know what you've got as a problem, isn't it? Yes.
And also, yeah, one less squash stem borer moth is good in my book, because I don't want any more of them in the courgettes or the squashes.
Yeah, I can understand that.
These ones will probably be fine. That's got a little bruise on it. That's the little rabbits nibbling there, so that might go in the shop. And the ones will be fine.
The chiller, this is where everything actually gets stored when it's...
And this is when all the workers are in packing the boxes. The guys are in and out of here.
So that's actually what happens. That means that the food is not shriveled but in perfect condition when you get it. Lovely. So now I understand that this interesting flowering plant that I saw earlier is actually tobacco. And it's self-seeded, it's literally just grown out of the compost that they've collected. The end of the process, and Chris has just worked out what I owe him for everything that I'm buying. Thanks, Chris.